Link doesn't want to get wet. Hey everyone, and welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Previously on our journey, we made our way back up here to Skyloft after achieving our first flame. That sounded maybe a little bit weird. We went around collecting a bunch of goodies like goddess chests and other goodies like, well, that. Bunch of good stuff. Got a few small upgrades here. Before making our way here to the Isle of Songs and finding our way to the next location where we need to get the next flame at. And according to what we heard from Fee, that area is actually in the Lanayru province. So in case you thought it would actually be, going back because we went to the Farron area first, you think it's just going to be going through all three again? Nope, it's actually a bit of a different order. It's Farron and then Lanayru, so going to a bit of a different area. We just got to kill one of those things finally. Those things are really annoying and hard to take out. They're just kind of avoid until now. So we're actually heading to the Lanayru area. As such, if you are wanting to prepare beforehand and you want to get some goodies, the things I would recommend you grab would be, of course, a shield that is, good for that area. So either the wooden shield or the sacred shield are your best options up to this point, just due to what hazards you'll find there with electricity and whatnot. So if you don't have the sacred shield, that's fine. Make sure you have at least the wooden shield so you have something to work with. Before we head out, I am actually going to head back to Skyloft so we can go through our inventory a little bit, specifically our pouch, since we got an extra pouch slot. Kind of want to see if there's some stuff I can upgrade, but not in terms of our gear, but in terms of actually some potions, maybe. And there's some stuff I want to take a look at, so we're going to head over there first. I'm not going to cut because it's actually not that far from here. And while we're there, I can also recommend some other stuff. Up to this point, oh my god, that's a tornado that's like right on top of Skyloft, Jesus. If there is another thing I can recommend up to this point for you to potentially collect, I would say a decent one would be, so I mentioned the shield, of course. The pouch for the bombs is always useful. May not need the slingshot one. The life metal gives us the extra heart, so I want to keep that on us. Let's just go in here and see what we got to work with. What do you say? First things first, let's go over and talk to you. Hold on, Nathan, you want me? Yes, please. Again, I still don't like the noises you make. So we got the rupee medal, which is nice, but I kind of just want to look through. So we have the empty bottle. I want to keep, so just reorganize this, right? I want to keep the goddess shield. Goddess shield, 100% something I'm keeping. I'm keeping the life medal. I'm keeping the treasure medal. Those are the three items that I'm just not letting go out of my inventory right now. I think the large bomb bag's worth it. The revitalizing potion is good. Do I want to keep the empty bottle or do I want to get the fairy? I could grab all three. I think I'm going to take the fairy in a bottle and leave the empty bottle. I think that's a better play right now. And then we'll keep the rupee medal on us. We could have an extra slot for something in case we find something, but I really would just rather get the extra money, I think, and stuff. I think that'll go a long way. Revitalizing potion plus, what is the upgrade to that? Because I know that can be upgraded at least one more time, correct? Let me see. Let's see what we got here, buddy. We could upgrade it. Unmaxed repair and restores 8 hearts, can be used twice. The bugs it use, considering we've been kind of lacking on those bugs, I don't really think that's worth it. Unfortunately, the revitalizing potions are getting a lot less useful. The fairy is kind of the best thing we got. Honestly, at this point, if you are in a situation that isn't similar to mine and you need potions and you don't have a fairy or anything, definitely recommend HP potion and upgrading it. Here, I'll put on screen really fast what you need to upgrade it. So it's not that expensive to upgrade at least once and make it semi-useful. Could also splurge and get one of, I think it's not both of these, right? Only one of these are available. Guardian potion, yeah. Get the guardian potion if you want to splurge. It's really good, but that's if you want it. I think that's when you're done with, right? Revitalizing potion. Oh no, this is the revitalizing. Yeah, I was literally just talking about it and I forgot that you could buy it here for some reason. Oh boy. So I think that's all I want to grab with us in terms of preparations. Again, if you don't have the goddess shield, that's fine. Make sure you bring the wooden one though, because we are going back to the electricity area. You have a heart piece beetle. We definitely don't have the money for that, and I'm in no reason to really rush that. Don't need to catch those guys, because we have a bunch of them. So I think it's time for us to head back to the surface. I'll make sure I grabbed all the... Oh no, there's this goddess chest here. We can't get that. That's right. I was making sure we didn't miss any goddess chests, and then I look, and I was like, oh, there's that one there, but I actually kind of forgot that that was one that we can't get currently. Any other things we could do? We could go back to the bamboo minigame now with our longer sword, since the guy mentioned that make it easier. So if you want to maybe try to get another rare material, you can do that. We may do that later. Not this episode probably, but maybe in the future we'll go back and play that minigame again. Who really knows? So let us return to the Lanayru area. And once again, if we want to be efficient about this, and you want to be in the spot that's probably most optimal, I recommend the North Desert. It's in a spot that lets you get around a lot quicker, and it lets you get closer to where the trial gate's going to be at. If you want to save some time, I think this is your best bet. So now that we've landed here... Oh, well, gosh, what? We have arrived at Lanayru Desert. You can use your dowsing ability to locate the entrance to the trail you must pass to open the way to the Sacred Flame. Thank you, Fee. Thank you. Oh, wow. So yeah, of course, enemies got an upgrade here as well. I think we noticed this when I came back for one of the goddess cubes I missed earlier. You can see the moblins and stuff. So you want to keep an eye out. In general, it's a little risky. So let's take a look for this trial gate. And as you can see, and you can probably tell from the goddess butterflies there, because those are not very much a common sight. Ooh, hello. Don't necessarily need you, I think, as much, but hey, we'll take anything we can get. Of course, I'm going to grab all these guys, just because we might as well while we're here. And we know what this means. There's a familiar-looking light. Strum our harp. And I will be honest, I think that I understand why they did the harp the way they did in terms of the, you know, you just have to time it, and it's using the motion controls. It's a motion control-based game, right? But I really would have liked if they would have used a system similar to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask if you played those games. Or heck, even really I think Wind Waker did a better one of this. Because I feel like it's hard for me to grasp I'm playing a song just by doing this. Maybe it's just me. But this doesn't feel like I'm playing a song, even though that's what's supposed to kind of, you know, encompass. It's supposed to be like, ah, you're actually playing the song, but what do I know? Thrust your sword into the center of the mark and open the way to a new silent realm. Nice song, and also it looks kind of like the things here are floating off the ground, and if you notice, Link actually, like, this is something I noticed a while ago. If you look, it's actually, like, not placed properly, and so Link actually gets a little bit of height from it, like it's floating, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but once you notice it, it's hard to not notice it. At least for me, it's kind of hard to not notice it. Let's enter our next challenge, or trial, I suppose. Master Link. As you know by now, I cannot follow you to the trial. Oh wait, I cannot follow you. The trial calls out to your mind alone, as it is in every silent realm. This is the second trial, known as Nayru's Silent Realm. It will test your wisdom, Master. You must overcome this trial to find the flames that will enhance your sword. You got the Spirit Vessel. This mysterious plant represents your spirit, Link. Represents, what the frick. When your vessel is full, your spirit will grow, and you'll be entrusted with a new power by the goddess. Do you have any questions? Don't believe so? Yes, Master. Master, I will await your return in the outside world. Same old, same old. It is the same song dance as last time. We are given an area, we have a trial, we have to get those tears. And of course, getting out of the circle immediately makes me want to crap my pants because we're going to be targeted by everything in the world. And this first tier is much for the other ones, and we actually have to run from these guys. As you can see here, they are terrifying. That is probably the closest we've gotten to them actually being able to attack us, because if you recall the first trial, the first tier was actually really close to us. This was a little further away. You got a tier of Nayru's. Objects power halts the movements of the Guardians for just 90 seconds. Let all 15 to pass the trial. Once again, the trial itself has some similar strategies I recommend, with going for some of the ones that are farther out first and saving the innermost ones for later, so that way when you finish up, you don't have to go through as much to get back to them. Pretty much any strategy is viable. It's just the one that I find to be best and the most consistent, at least, again, from my experience, but what do I know. Once again, while walking around here, you have a chance of seeing some of the it's called Dark Relics, or whatever they're called. Or Dusk Relics, whatever they are. If you see any of those, might as well grab them. Again, these are the only spots you can get them, seemingly up to this point. Might as well grab them if you see them. They're not too out of the way. And for the most part, generally, they're going to be useful, because if nothing else, you can sell them for more money from the one guy if he's happening, yeah. If he happens to sell them that day, I should say. Climbing up here, we can make our way to yet another tier, as we saw from those columns. In terms of actual new mechanics, there isn't really anything introduced here we didn't see in the first trial. It's just now we have different things to watch out for, because now there's like sand, you know, there's different obstacles now that weren't in the forest region, so you want to be careful. I think we can make that jump, right? No, we cannot, but okay, it didn't matter. That shifting sand gave me PTSD. It made me think of like Shifting Sand Land from Mario 64 for those of you who have played that game. There is a little bit of a wisdom trial here, because as you can see, there's like a bit of a puzzle with these mine carts. I think we moved these around earlier times. It's hard to call it a test of wisdom, but, I mean, I say that, but then I just did that crap. Hard to call this a test of wisdom, but hey, you know, whatever. I get it. It's, you know, it's kind of a... Actually, I mean, you wouldn't get it if you haven't played the rest of the series. Anyway, so while we head over here, a few other suggestions I have when you're doing this, in case you're struggling, because these can be a little difficult, is the time limit is actually way more forgiving than you think. As long as you are constantly heading to at least one tier, you're pretty much fine. And as long as you take your time with it. So for example, this one here is at this tree. You may be a little stumped, but you may also recall that we can roll into trees. That's how you get down. And as soon as you get, since it fully refills it, it's a lot more lenient. Your main concern should be like these guys. These guys seem to detect you very like quickly and very easily like these. So as you can see, their range for noticing you is insane. You will want to be careful. See how long those guys like hunted us down? Like, it's insane. Here you go, for example, this guy just noticed us, and so he's going to awaken a bunch of them. And it doesn't matter if you walk or run, as long as you're close to them, they will immediately pretty much say, hey, there's a bad guy there. Wake up, everyone. So it's not good. You'll want to be careful. Thankfully, there was a tier right there, so it was okay for us to just run by. On the way back, though, we don't have that luxury. The tiers are gone that are nearby. It would be genuinely dangerous if we were to simply run through, so let's try to be careful here. I want to keep an eye out. Generally, we can use some of these as markings as to where to go. Not all the time, but some of the time. Oh, nope, not climbing up there. That guy goes through it, apparently. I didn't actually remember that. Okay, that's a little terrifying. So let's run over here. Unfortunately, the stamina bar is a genuine threat here. Also, he's literally clipping through the ground. Okay, so let's go through here, grab this. We're just going to run past them and get far enough away, and then they should stop and de-aggro on us and then go away. Okay, yeah, good. Those guys are probably some of the most, if not the most annoying enemies in this area, which sucks because... As you can see, they place them everywhere, and I think they know that they're difficult because of that reason. But what do I know? I think that it's not just a personal thing, right? It finds those in particular, like, super annoying to try to fight back. Whatever. So let's grab this. You can see there's a lot of tiers that are on this side of the map. I'm trying to get the ones that are over here first because they're a little bit further away. So let's grab this one first, mostly because, as you can see up the top left, the time was actually running a little bit close, and I didn't like that. So I just want to make it so that way we're safe for a little bit. Over here, be careful, because depending on when you come over here, you may actually be tricked into a false sense of security. See this minecart? We've already moved one of them, but if you stay here for a second, you may notice there's some water, and if you recall from the first Silent Realm, stepping in water awakens all of them, depleting the bar instantly. If you step into this puddle in particular, you're pretty much just screwed, because there's no, like, nearby tiers you're probably going to get to in time. Wait for it to fully go down, make sure you can't see any of it, and then pull it away. You should be able to get it at least close to done in time. As you can see, I don't think it's possible to get it all the way there on the first attempt, but that's fine. Take your time. As you can see, we have more than enough time. We have half the timer. We are good. And we can cut that move. That sound effect just scared the absolute crap out of me. I thought for some reason I barely touched it with my toe or something. As you can see, you should have enough time to actually get it. Just don't panic and you should be fine. That one's always one that I kind of forget about sometimes, the water being there, and I don't want that to happen to you, so make sure you're paying attention, and you don't want that to happen to you. 3 more, get a few more Dusk Relics on our way, and I believe all the rest are on that side, so they all should be kind of in one conjoined area, making it a little bit easier for us to access them, and hopefully making it a little bit less risky in case we get caught, or, you know, if it's a bit of a runaway, we don't have to go through as much. This one's definitely a bit more challenging than the first one, but again, I think as long as you learn, like, the take your time kind of mentality, you're pretty fine. Speaking of pretty fine, I think we're gonna grab this Dusk Relic, and hopefully that should be, like, all the Dusk Relics we'll need for a while. Like, how many does this make? Not that. I still am having that problem even after all this time. 8. That's actually not as good as I thought, but that is not terrible either, so definitely still gonna collect them, but it's whatever. So we have a tier there, which is like seemingly in the middle of nowhere, but again, if you recall the first time we were here, there are these spots where the sand actually is like covering a bit of a platform, so it's not fully engulfed, so it actually allows us to get down it. It's a little interesting. I think we can go this way, right? Yes, we can, without sinking anyway. And we have 2 more tiers. There's one to the left and one to the right. I think the one on the right's easier to get and less risky, so I say we go for the one on the left first, so that way we can, if we get caught, potentially leave the safer one for last. Maybe it's more of a personal preference. I'd rather just, you know, get the dangerous one out of the way personally. So let's head up there. In this part, as you can see, you have the pole-looking things going back and forth. It's fairly easy to do this part as long as you're, again, patient. Patience is more than a virtue in this Silent Realm test. Wait for them to pass you, and then you can walk over. And you may be concerned because you're seeing, like, oh, this Poe is, like, going my way. He covers a lot smaller of an area, so you just have to wait for him to go by. Run over here, grab this, and jump down. And then we're good. As long as you're holding down the B button, because I think you can, yeah, you can make it over there. It is a little close, but you're good. So now that we got that one out of the way, that last one hopefully shouldn't be too difficult. I only see one, like, thing that could potentially catch us. There's also a dusk relic further over there. I don't really think I want to go on my way for that, though. Because even though we don't have a ton, I also don't really want to go all the way over there for that specific one. So, I don't know. I think we're just going to ignore it. As you can see, going this way, we actually can completely ignore that guy over there anyway. You collected every last tier of Nehru. Link's spirit has grown. The trial will continue until you exit the Silent Realm. Proceed with caution on your way back to the entrance so that you can claim proof of your spiritual growth. As I mentioned last time, once again, you'll have to make your way back. The time limit is gone, but you can still get caught by the bad guys and have to reset the entire thing. Don't let that happen. Just make sure you leave at least one tier that's either in a very easy location or one that's right next to the exit like this, so you don't have to go through nearly as much on your way back. You got the claw shots. With this sacred gift, you'll be able to explore areas that were previously unreachable. Aim for special targets and vines, then fire a claw or fire a claw on a chain that pulls you to a place that you've targeted. I was acting like there was an option or a choice in the matter, but no, there is no choice in that matter. Congratulations, Master. You have completed the trial. You now have the power to proceed to the sacred flame that will be entrusted to your sword. Wait. That will be entrusted to your sword and your strong spirit. Okay, that was a little bit of a weird way to phrase that, but okay. What? My right Joy-Con just disconnected? I'm not a professional. There you go. There's proof of it. The claw shots are one of the goddess's sacred gifts. You can extend these claws attached to chains to pull yourself to targets and vines beyond your reach. The flame is somewhere in the desert. I conjecture that it lies in a place you've not yet visited, Master. Thanks for the info, and thanks for also showing just how crappy I am at this. Oh, it sucks. So yeah, the claw shots are very cool items. And again, if you play those Zelda games, you may be familiar with this type of item, like the hook shot or whatever. It's a thing that's appeared quite a few times. Unfortunately, we can't grab items with it, which kind of sucks. But it allows us to have access to new areas we've never been able to before. Those targets that have been pretty much screaming in your face that, hey, there's something you can do with these, we finally can actually do something with them. And it allows traversing areas we haven't been to before, or allowing us to get around in a much easier way. So, for example, you can sometimes just skip large gaps like this, launch over to it, and somehow it doesn't pull Link's arm out of his socket. And this, in turn, allows us to explore whole new areas we didn't have access to before. So, it's a really cool item. And it is also one of the last items. You can see we're only missing one more on this wheel here. So, it seems like we're making pretty good progress. Before we start... Oh my god, that was weird. Before we start looking into areas we haven't been to... I mean, I guess we're still going to an area we haven't been to, technically. But it is an area we've seen. I mentioned a while ago, this was a heart piece I actually missed that was in this tunnel. Going back here, there's some electric choo-choos who you see are going to still fall down, but I'm just going to ignore them because I really don't care to fight them. And back here is a chest that contains a heart piece. So if you missed a heart piece, that could be this one here. I definitely missed it earlier. But something that was back here we couldn't interact with the first time were these. They're actually these little spots to claw shots. Since we're given two, you can actually shoot from one to another, like this, allowing you to travel in a really cool way that, I don't know, I find the claw shots as a super cool item. They're just super cool to me, I don't know. So you can see we can go back and forth, and eventually this will allow us to come out to a different area. And yes, I do believe this is the only way to access this spot, unless you're doing some insane game-breaking stuff. There's probably some super cool method that speedrunners have that maybe lets you do this, but I'm not a speedrunner. I don't have any skill in games, so I wouldn't know. As you can see, this will eventually take us to a goddess cube, and, you know, that's nice. Not anything you absolutely have to come get, but hey, goddess cube's a goddess cube. There's usually gonna have good rewards for us. Might as well grab it. So now, we're going to head down here. That is another electric choo-choo. Frick all of that noise. And we're going to head this direction. Of course, now we can access a bunch of new areas. Ironically, right where you actually get out of that trial gate is a spot up here. Of course, there's a lot of these, but this one up here actually has a chest immediately rewarding you with checking out new areas. And what's that item going to be? It is a desk relic, which, I mean, granted, at this point, I mean, those are still nice. It's not like we have a ton of them, but considering we went through that trial to get the item, it's definitely a consolation prize. It's literally just the game trying to be like, yeah, you can get some stuff from this, you know, you should do it, but we're also not going to give you anything crazy, but, you know, it's still an incentive, just not an amazing one. So let's head over this way. Yep, slide down. Hopefully we can access this. There we go. Again, this just makes also traversing the desert so much easier, which is nice. Lets us go to whole new areas. It lets us just get around faster in general, not having to go such long routes as earlier. Up here, an area we've seen, I think, ever since like the first time we came here, but we couldn't have access to until now, is also this goddess cube here. Another one that you need the claw shots to get to. Or again, there could be some other way. That's just the way I always grab it, so I don't know. So that's another goddess cube. It's two goddess cubes off the bat that we weren't able to access before. We now can. But, in terms of where we should be going for that sacred flame, Fee suggests going to a place we haven't been to yet, which is about as useful as saying you should essentially look everywhere because we have not been to a lot of locations. Give me that ant. We need a lot of bugs in this area. In fact, I probably should be grinding for those off camera because that's not going to be fun, but whatever. So let's make our way past some of these shortcuts we put up a long time ago. I mean, it's been quite a while now. It's kind of crazy to think how far we've come, even it doesn't feel like that. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that's changed in, you know, the game and different things that have happened since then. So going over here to this spot, if you have a good memory, you may remember this interesting looking location. Well, as you can see there's clearly an area up there that we couldn't access before because we can only get up here via the hook shot like this. Or claw shot, I should say. I think that's the actual one that these are called. I'm just used to hook shot being the default name. We can make it to the Nehru Caves. Definitely a new area. Kind of a familiar looking face there. But not exactly.
I almost never get visitors. My name is Golo, and I'm researching the Legend of the Three Dragons, one of which is said to live here. First glance, it would seem that there is nothing in this area, but I know there's something here. I'll just keep on looking. So your name is, Link? I see. Not the easiest name to say, is it? And how about you, Link? Why are you here? You looking for a sacred flame? Sounds like something I've heard of before. But maybe not. Sweet Goro! I remember now. I read something about it in ancient scrolls that spoke of the Lanayru Sand Sea. I do not remember all the details, but if you can get to the Lanayru Sand Sea, if you just go straight through here. If you want to get to the Lanayru Sand Sea, you're gonna need this key.
Oh, he just happened to have that on him, I guess. Thanks.
Good luck to you.
So we finally met a Goron that actually wasn't, because that's not the same Goron we met earlier. You know, they're all the same. He has different hairstyles, different name. Kind of interesting. And they also seem to all be like historian-like figures, which is kind of cool. Monster Horn, very nice. Oh. Some bokoblins carry Monster Horn on their waist. If you latch onto it and pull it with your whip, it is possible to claim it for yourself. Yes, so some of the bokoblins that we've seen in the game that actually call for reinforcements, the way they recall reinforcements is via that Monster Horn. I mentioned back in the dungeon where we got the whip that you should remember that mechanic of being able to grab things off certain enemies. Also, thanks for the evil crystal, buddy. That's because that is the only way to get Monster Horns outside of just minigames or chests. Remember that and keep an eye out for them. They say somewhere in this vast desert there's a dragon who loves putting the abilities of those who visit him to some kind of test. If you can master this challenge, he throws at you. You're rewarded with a shield stronger than any other. Okay. Doubt we're going to be seeing a living, well, dragon anytime soon, though that is technically our goal, so hopefully that's true. Ahead is the near mine. It is there that I will solve the mystery of the time shift stones. Interesting. Got a bunch of bombs here, so you can stock up if you need to. You can see there's a few different spots to blow up. Let's take a look at some of these other murals. Ahead is the near sand sea. The area covered in an ocean of sand. There are lots of ancient ruins there. I heard something that sounded like a collectible. Some jars down there. Can I just, like, roll it into there and get... Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Thought it was worth trying, but I guess not. And I'll pick up another bomb and throw you over there because some more rocks, and then we'll check out this last mural over here. Might as well just get a read, you know. Ahead is later desert adventures await those solving the mysteries of the quarry in the desert. Interesting. So it seems like there are maybe other people here before. Something you can kind of do, which is kind of a funny little thing here I'm going to show in a moment. First off, there's another spot down there, so I'm going to throw that in there. But two is if we throw a... Thank you, cutscene, for informing me I did something right. I appreciate it. If we are to grab another bomb and throw it in between his legs, which sounds bad, or get it close enough, there's actually some rocks there you can see you can blow up. You can't blow up all of them, and you can't even access the hole there, but it is interesting you can blow up a few of them, which is kind of just funny. More jars. They may have money, but I really don't feel like going my way for those in particular, so I think we're just going to ignore them. Besides, now we have our way forward. He gave us that key. I don't know how we would have progressed without that, to be honest with you. But hey, you know, serendipitous. Oh, I was expecting a cutscene there and for that to be a cool cutoff, but whatever. A report, Master. This Lineru Sensi. This whole area was once a vast ocean. But the water has all evaporated, and now the area is a sea of sand. Signs indicate this place functioned as a port, linking the land to the sea. Just like with Lake Floria, there was a whole other portion of the Lineru province we had no idea even existed. A whole goddamn sea of sand now. A sea all the same, though. This area operated a new form of power. There's a 90% probability that the sacred flame is located ahead. I recommend exploring the Sand Sea. Ah, it's easier said than done, but hey, whatever. It's always the case, right? And of course, not only was it impossible to access this area, just in case you somehow got this far, they're once again making sure you use your claw shots on these smoke pylon chimneys, the things you see on top of factories. I don't really know the actual official term for them, but nah, it's whatever. Work our way down here. You can hear some loud buzzing. That's a cicada, if I've ever heard one. I'm gonna try to catch you if I can. There we go. Again, those are pretty rare. We want to catch those when we can. I like how it was quiet, like it was actually gonna, me being loud in real life would have disturbed it. I think I was just trying to focus, because knowing me, I'm gonna mess it up if I'm talking too much. Which is why it's not something I'm very skillful at. Oop, hello. Yep, so we can actually still even get some of these here. Tumbleweeds. Oop, hello. Oh, I'm getting electrocuted if I do it. Just trying to do as much damage as possible. Okay. Yep, fall back for a second. Swing. Okay, there we go. Bit of annoying enemies, but it's whatever. So this was seemingly a port. We saw that this was an area that they were mining those time shift stones at earlier, and this seems to be a port. It makes sense it's connected to the sea and stuff. It's interesting to see kind of just how elaborate of an operation these guys had going on down here, you know, back in the day. It's kind of cool. So let's have a look around, see if we have anything to possess as our own. I'd like to get some hearts maybe from some of these things, since we took some damage from that, embarrassingly enough. Ooh, hello. I'll take you as well, actually. And anything here? More ants. You know what? I'll take it. Again, these these bugs are a little bit harder to find in the linear area, so keeping an eye out is good. Yep, here, you're going to want to get up this spot. It's kind of a hard to see hidden spot, but if you get back here, you can see you have access to this whole area that we couldn't actually access any other way. That was the only way to access it. And going back here, we have a little bit of a mine and a bunch of these little baby scorpions, which are terrifying. So let's get rid of them. We haven't seen them in a while, and boy, did I not really miss them, if I'm being honest with you. getting rid of them. We also got like 3 jelly blobs there. And as you can see, our reward for fighting past all of that and getting back here is yet another goddess cube. They're very generous with those today, which I'm more than okay with, considering that those usually have some really good items for us. So now that we've done that, we've checked out this area. Let's get seeing what's going on over here. What do you say? So we have yet another statue. Again, make sure you come close to it so we can teleport here a little bit quicker. And what do we have here? Elder 3019 Skipper. Oh, glorious hat. And a time shift stone. Oh my god, sorry about that. And a time shift stone. And the time shift stone what it does best. It shifts time. Really was a sea here, it seems. Who are ye? Bzzzt. Some human verm? Who am I? Bzzzt. I am the proud skipper of the ship that protects Nehru's flame, Pweep. Nehru's flame? It was the day of the storm, Pweep. Me crew and I were navigating the seas as usual, verm, and these brutes, Bzzzt. The pirates, suddenly attacked us, Bzzzt. Thereafter, Nehru's flame, Bzzzt. My crew was imprisoned, Vert, and I was thrown into the sea. I drifted on the current to this port, Verm. After that, I took this boat and went searching for my ship and crew, but they were nowhere to be found, Bzzzt. It haunts me wondering where my ship could be, Pweep. In my hat, they've turned the ship invisible and are hiding out somewhere, Verm. You can't see it. Invisible? Huh. In order to protect Nehru's flame, the ship has a function that allows it to become invisible, Pweep. You say you're searching for Nehru's flame, Bzzzt. Oh, so you need Nehru's flame to find someone important to you, Verm. In that case, you should help me search for my ship and crew, Pweep. If you'll help me, Bzzzt, then I guess I'll let you on my boat. I'll help. Really, Verm? Well, in that case, Bzzzt. There's something weird about that map of yours, Verm. If you're going to navigate these treacherous waters, then you need a proper sea chart, Pweep. There is a sea chart in my shack at Skipper's Retreat. Bzzzt. You first need to go on this boat and set a course for Skipper's Retreat. Shall we shove off? Let's wait a moment. We need to get a move on, Bzzzt. Trust me, thanks to that time shift stone, we have all the time in the world, my friend. We made our way into the Nehru Desert. We passed the trial, got our item, accessed a new area, and it seems like we have a lead as to where we need to go for that flame. Next time, we're going to be making, well, waves in our progress to get our next flame. I hope to see you all there.